Hey guys, how's it going? So, quick update, my internet situation did finally get fixed out, I think. I'm really hoping. It was kind of keeping me from streaming for a while though. Pretty annoying, but again, part of life. I think I've mentioned on previous VODs, I was having this weird issue with my internet company where they were having something go wrong with the towers. Was making things really weird. But, as far as I know, that's all fixed up. I did decide, however, to still just go ahead and finish out our Three Hopes last path in Azure Gleam on recording. Just because, as of right now, when I'm recording this, I don't know when this VOD will be able to go up, just because I do have some other stuff to get done. Xenoblade 3 does finally come out in less than a day, and I would like to get that recorded, but I also need to spend some time trying to figure out my overlay, because as memory serves, Xenoblade 1 and 2 did have a, I don't want to say cluttered overlay, but it had enough on it that I definitely don't want to just have, you know, my model over it. Kind of like, I've had that on my mind throughout Three Hopes, but Three Hopes it was just covering up some controls. I do think on Xenoblade 3 what I might try to do is, I don't have a stream overlay yet, but maybe just try and zoom the game back a little bit, get a nice background, you know, something like that. But we'll figure it out as we go. That'll give me some time to take care of that tomorrow and hopefully get started on our Xenoblade 3 path this weekend. But anyways, I figured we'd just finish out this path. I did go ahead and clear out the support info, or sorry, the support conversations, in the interest of this recording not taking like 4 hours. We had a ton for this path. I mean, if anyone's interested in some of those, I mean, some of them were really wholesome. You know, I'm sure someone's posted them all online. People do that for every single Fire Emblem meme. Sorry about that, I just really didn't want to spend all that time doing it, but we do just have some paralogs and then the last chapter to do here. So hopefully, you know, we can get through this pretty fast. It does look like we have 5 paralogs here, so that'll take a hot second. But overall, I was actually really hoping to finish out this game like last week, and then we had all of the weird stuff like I was saying with my ISP and all that stuff. It was really frustrating, but sometimes it's just part of life. That said, I do think that well, I wanted to stream the new Genshin event, and it does last for like a month long. I might record my Yoimiya polls and post it to my YouTube with all my VODs, but aside from that, I don't think we're going to be able to get to that, unfortunately. That's what I would have done in this past, like, 4 or 5 days, but it's okay. That said, let's go into these paralogs. None of these should be too difficult, because we do have Shez. Aside from maybe this one, I have no idea. I did level up the Gatekeeper a little bit, gave him some better equipment, but I have no idea why this is level 80 paralog. I do think surely the Gatekeeper's got to be a character that you just get after a certain number of New Game Pluses, but I don't know for certain. But anyways, let's just hop into this. Looks like we're doing Raiders from the North. I think that was Rodrigue, Sylvain, and Dimitri. Should be interesting. Yep.
Whew. There may not be snow here, but the wind still settles right in your bones.
Make sure to stay warm, all right? It's often coldest in places without snow.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Apologies for dragging
Maybe,
you so
but
far north, and then saddling you with reconnaissance duties. Still,
I mean,
how
I'm
are
no
things
weather
looking?
expert, but I don't know,
Thought
it
for
gets
sure
pretty
we'd see
cold out
signs of
here
the
when it
enemy
starts
by
snowing.
now, but I've got nothing. You really think those Srang folks are coming over these mountains? Seems like a pretty risky plan.
knows?
Oh, they will come.
It's hard to know too because we didn't do those paralogs as we got them when in the story that's supposed to
If I
take
know their
place.
leader,
But
this will be a much larger
I like
raid than
saving the
normal.
paralogs. You do get like some better battalions and such, but
This
not super
leader
worried about
sounds
it.
like a big deal.
Yes, he's quite well versed in Fodlan's culture
Okay.
and military strategy alike.
After he was surrendered to Margrave Gautier as a prisoner of war, he was held here for some time. The Margrave lost his wife to the Srang offensive, and I know he harbored many ill feelings towards their
yeah,
people.
that's fair. I mean, it's
But he
wartime,
also
but
hoped to improve relations between the two
Oh, okay.
peoples,
That's
and
actually-
thusly treated his prisoner well. teaching him our
genuinely,
language
that
and customs.
that makes me. I know Margrave Gautier is a bit of a serious guy, but the fact that despite losing his wife and obviously holding probably some personal grudges against the Srang people, the fact that Rodrigue is saying here that he did treat the prisoner well, even taught him language and customs, that speaks a lot.
Sadly, the prisoner did not
But-
appreciate the effort. He
Okay.
fled Margrave Gautier.
To be fair, you know, it was still a prisoner,
and
you know.
scurried back home.
That said,
But if Srang offered him as a hostage, why would they welcome him back?
that is also a good point. I don't know.
It's all a bit muddled and unclear. Father dispatched men to find out the truth of the matter, but everyone feigned ignorance.
Interesting.
Still, He now leads the Shrine forces.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
Which means they must have at least some respect for the man.
you wonder if it was some kind of plan for infiltration, or if
Doubtless
they
were
had to,
pleased when he
you
walked
know,
in the door with inside
give up their
knowledge
leader
of
as a
full and
hostage and then just
practically
welcome him
oozing
back as soon as he could
false
get back. Who knows?
You've got one interesting neighbor, I'll give you that. Things are tougher in the north than I thought.
I'm glad you've come to understand
Oh, there
our
he is.
situation, at least in some small part.
Our preparations are complete, Father. Perhaps it's time we gather the generals?
Yes. Once everyone is here, we'll depart for the Ruska Mountains and take shelter at the stronghold in the
Ruska Mountains?
foothills.
I don't know where that is, but
we're practically
enough.
retracing the entire northern campaign at this point.
Yes, that is where hostilities began, isn't it? Your Majesty, House Gautier should have been able to handle this situation ourselves.
That's
Pray
okay.
forgive me for dragging you into it.
Not at all. Gautier and Fraldarius have long been allies in the fight against the forces of Srang. It is only right that the leader of House Blathid should come to your aid in a time of such crisis. I'll be counting on
Yes,
you.
he's still the
as
leader
well.
of the entire, you know, kingdom. The house is,
Don't worry.
you know, in
We'll
charge
send
of all
this
that, so
packing.
it's really his duty.
Great.
Not
In
that
case,
Dimitri's
maybe
the
I'll
type of
kick back
person
and
to,
let you do all the
you know, give him some flack for that, but I'm sure there have been previous
Kidding,
leaders of the kingdom who
kidding.
would.
Of course, I'll give this everything I have. Well, except my life. I'll be
you
keeping
go.
that.
Yeah, that's probably pretty
I'll
important,
do my
Sylvain.
best as well, Margrave. Though, having ceded the Fraldarius title to my son, I fear I am not but a common military man now.
False modesty ill suits you, Rodrigue. Now let's all go out there and make our king proud.
Honestly, all three of the territories do have some really likable nobles, but a lot of the members of the kingdom, you know, well, I don't know if I can really say it. There's a lot of members of the kingdom that are very, you know, we've got Cornelia, Count Rowe, but there's a good amount that are really respectable. Alright, 1,600 enemies in 12 minutes, so let's see. So we're on this map? Alright, so it's defeat a bunch of targeted enemies. Interesting. Shouldn't be a huge issue. Generally speaking, since we've waited a good chunk to do the paralogs, the only paralog I really am worried about is that ridiculously high level gatekeeper one. That's the only one too that I'm going to obviously aim for an S rank on all of them. If I don't get an S rank on that one, I'm not going to worry about it because that seems like it's going to be painful. Especially if we do only have 2 characters because it only lists the gatekeeper. And like I was saying, I invested in a gatekeeper, but anyways, let's keep moving on to this. I think Shez is
Take a breather.
just 79.
This moment.
Shez is almost at that level after 3 playthroughs. Kinda crazy. Now, I could probably be ordering our units around actually more efficiently. That's one thing I don't do as much anymore just because it's not as much of a worry.
Hear you loud and clear.
Still very helpful. Go ahead with Dimitri down to this one, and then probably just take control of Rodrigue and take the one up there. This game I actually think does a really good job compared to the old Warriors though of making sure that you should try to micromanage your units. Still not, I would say, like, you can definitely get away with not doing it. I mean, I've definitely done it, but I actually really like that because in some of the previous games it was just not ever an issue at all.
Feel as though I'm fighting alongside the young
And by other one, I mean the other Fire Emblem Warriors game.
It's quite the sensation.
I'm honored you think I stack up to my
Back,
father.
why? Where's the general?
Can't help but feel like I pale in
Letty?
comparison.
Okay. Sometimes I don't know where these units are going. That unit was just like, I'm leaving.
The comparison. And to one day take his place as the Margrave.
Hey, Dimitri's already blazed that path, so he's gotta know what
That's
he's
true.
talking about.
I say Dimitri's already taken that position. The position of leadership that he was meant to inherit.
There will be no end if we stay
I'm
on
sure
the
Sylvain will
defensive.
do fine though.
Perhaps we should take the fight to our enemy instead.
These
Oh,
wild
okay.
tactics remind me of my father's
Do I
chess
even care
strategies.
about reinforcements appearing is the question because that's more
I think
units
they
to take
might be
out.
trying to reach our base.
Could be wrong, but I don't know if that Kingdom Soldier goes down as well, if it's a bad thing for us. Because it wasn't listed on our defeat conditions. but who knows, honestly, half the
My
time.
father's first wife, the one who died in the Strang raids. What was she like?
Wasn't
She
that
was a
Miquelon's
classmate of
mother?
ours at the academy. And the
Really?
star pupil of the Black Eagles.
That actually makes it really
I
sad.
understand he earned his Wall of Ice moniker after she was lost.
Indeed. Before that, he was a lively young man.
That's
Cheerful, friendly,
that's actually really, really sad. Makes you think about, like, because the thing is, that could be very much the case in... But you have to consider that could be the case for some of these, the units we've come to know and love in Three Houses and Three Hopes.
I doubt even
You know?
Lambert could find fault with
They
us.
are in a wartime. We've actually, you know, murdered some of these units in other paths. So it just really makes you think, like, what would have happened in another timeline if Shez or Byleth was involved and these nations did go to war, sparked by Edelgard. I should probably send at least Dimitri this way. But if, you know, Edelgard had sparked that war,
We must
as we know she probably was going to, you know, what would have happened? How many... Because I think in Three Hopes you can technically save literally everyone. If I remember correctly, it's been a while. But it really just sits there and makes you think, like, some of these units would have been... I know by the nature of Three Hopes too, they haven't, like, canonically had much romance options aside from Byleth. But some of these units probably would have had relationships, they probably would have had families, and some of them probably would have passed away in war. Really, really sad thought, actually, is I should probably stop messing around and get rid of this stronghold. I was still thinking maybe I should let those enemies live and get the
that should make things easier.
let the extra reinforcements come in, but it's okay. Oh my gosh. They deployed reinforcements anyway.
The one who's as loud as a cannon.
That's awkward.
That must be who we're looking for.
You'd imagine so. I don't know why there's any unsurety though. Surely, if that leader was a prisoner for a while, the Margrave would know him by sight.
You won't stop
On to the next one.
Yours
There
is
we
a
go.
strength that should be wielded freely.
There are quite a few string generals here. Alright. Two of my units are in the bottom corner and Shez is up here. I was gonna say, there are a ton of string generals. Dimitri should slowly... I don't quite get the auto battle on this game half the time, honestly. Because generally speaking, you would think they just attack the objective if you have them set on attack, but I think they literally just attack any enemy near them. Which is why you do have to micromanage them a bit, but not a huge issue. The nice thing is they do kind of go around and get your KO count up a bit. For a long time, actually, with the original Fire Emblem Warriors and this one, I wasn't sure if other units, you know, obviously added to your KO count, but then, obviously, like right now, we're at 1,500 enemies, and the KO count says we're only at about 1,100. So it has to count the enemies your allies defeat. It's just one of those weird things. I still remember too, we went through like our entire first path without realizing that's what the minus button did, was pop up that menu. Pretty awkward. There we go. Looks like there's 4 more engines. Now the concern is running low on weapon durability on Shez. Couldn't be an issue again on these earlier ones. Most of the paralogs, I should have all our units for every paralog at least at the level that is recommended. Just to make things a little bit easier. In my off-stream grinding, I did pretty much every stage in Azure Gleam. I actually went back and did Scarlet Blaze as well in the record all bit, because we did not do very many battles in that, admittedly.
resounding success.
But that gave us enough gold to kind of level up units, get some more equipment down. That's interesting. It's difficult to say though, obviously. Because I think these might have been the people that... Oh, don't rub it in.
Yes, he did. But what do you care? You're the one who left us behind, remember?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, it's not... it's tough, you know. I'm sure that the people of Serang, if I remember correctly, they're the ones maybe who didn't have the correct environment, or it was in a very prosperous area. Who knows? It's just, nothing's ever a one-way street, you know? But nice, nice. Not too bad. Not too shabby.
Perhaps I thought too highly of my troops.
Oh,
But I can
the commander's
retreat with
retreating
my
again.
pride intact.
Well,
Yeah, and don't come back. Or if you do, at least leave your weapons and soldiers behind.
at least they seem
I'll think
semi-friendly.
about it.
Rather than just fought a battle where we, you know, murdered like 1,600 Serang soldiers. That's the thing about Warriors games, though. You sit there and you're like, this is a small fort. And there were apparently like 2,000 enemies in it. Always cracks me up a bit. Alrighty, let's hop into it. See what they have to say about that, though.
They descended upon us like a storm.
Hmm.
I've never seen the people of Srang fight with such ferocity, and their leader was a pure terror.
I wouldn't say that, but
Still,
sure.
I thought that man more discerning than to simply attempt to batter his way into Fargus.
Well, the people of Serang might really be in a rough spot. I don't think they underestimate our strength if they spent that much time and are that knowledgeable. I think maybe someone did just incite them. Potentially.
Sounds like someone lit a fire under them. Probably convinced them this was their chance to take out the kingdom.
I mean,
Well,
when
while
else
being
is a
occupied
smaller
with the
force going to have the
Empire
chance
and
to take out the kingdom than when they're currently occupied
Who would
with
this Flamestoker be?
the Empire, you know?
Someone from Adrestia, perhaps.
That also would make a lot of sense,
We
too.
can't discount Cornelia and her ilk.
Oh.
They're like a
This
bad
obviously takes
rat
place before
in
Chapter
their
8.
way.
As far as this paralogue goes. Again, I don't remember when all of these show up, but Cornelia kicked the bucket in Chapter 8.
But even if this is the
So,
result of some outside
This
influence
paralogue
on the
has to have been
Srang
sometime before
plans,
then.
The fault still lies with me.
Yeah,
I
sure,
never should have
that's good,
educated that man.
That's fair, but he was trying to do a good
Don't
deed.
blame yourself, Father.
And sometimes that just doesn't always pan
The
out.
people of Srang do not speak the language of Fodlan, and he never learned it.
Yet Sylvain was only able to get through to him as a result of your teachings.
Yeah, kind of.
Though his
kind
words
of.
lacked compassion, it was still quite remarkable to hear him speak at all. I was raised to think of the Srang people as demons who
Oh.
emerged unbidden.
But
from
that
the
surely
snowy
doesn't help
tundra.
the relationship between the two nations,
Exchanging even a
if that's
few
what you're
legal
teaching your future
sentences with them
leaders.
feels like a miracle.
Nice. That's actually really wholesome.
I
Even if
agree
it's in
with His
wartime, you know,
Majesty.
obviously.
We will never achieve peace without understanding each other.
Mhm.
And you know we can't end this through sheer force of arms alone, Father.
We already understand our enemy perfectly well. They fight for a port
Yeah,
that
see,
is
that's
not
what I was
choked
saying.
with
They were the
ice,
people
for
who
land that is
were in a
warm
land that
and
is not
fertile.
very prosperous. Makes it very, very
Yet
difficult for
Fargus
them.
is hardly a region of abundance.
And yeah, that's
There's
also
nothing we
mentioned.
can
That's the
say.
saddest part. Because I know this was mentioned. I think the
So
first time we
how
saw it was
exactly
actually
do
in
you
our
hope
first
to
path.
achieve peace
When
amidst such
Dimitri
scarcity?
welcomes Rhea. And I think they maybe show that
don't
in
know
all three paths now I'm
yet.
thinking about it.
I'll
But
keep
Dimitri
searching
explains
for
that
a
it's not a
way,
prosperous
even
region.
if
They
it
probably
takes my
can't even
entire
feed the
life.
knights, you know, of Saros, but
Ah,
still.
You remain as naive as ever, boy.
Matthias, wait! Apologies, Your Majesty. will
I
go
think
speak
that
with him.
the
You
Margrave
should
is
make
probably
ready to
just
head
a little
back.
bit tougher on Sylvain because he is the next heir. He's going to be inheriting the position. He's going to be the one in conflict
What
with
the
these
Margrave
enemies.
says is reasonable,
So.
yet
Hmm?
I sense an earnestness in your words as well, Sylvain.
But I think both have a
Oh,
point.
I'm earnest, all right. I'll drag our people kicking and screaming to peace if that's what I have to do.
Peace with Srang doesn't sound like some hopeless ideal to me. I'm sure you'll find a way to pull it off.
Obviously, genuinely,
Thanks.
the complete lack of ability to communicate
means a
prior to
lot.
this, I think, is why there's been no progress with them.
Regardless, we must
Again, if they're
eliminate this
teaching the
threat
future
if we
leaders
ever
like
hope to
Dimitri
free
that they're
ourselves
basically
from the
like
power of the
demons,
relics.
that's never going to
Still, there's
give
no
you
reason we
incentive to
must
help
do
them out.
something
They're obviously in a
military-minded
position where they
bloodshed,
feel the need to
if another way will suffice.
conquer anything they can.
I appreciate the way you think, Sylvain.
Hmm.
I truly do.
And I'm always impressed with how much you hate warfare, considering how good you are at it.
Is your father going to be okay? He didn't exactly take well to
Yeah.
your opinion back there.
Trust me, I've been a son for long enough to know that the feelings he keeps private can fill a library.
That makes
If
sense.
he really thought I was some kind of naive idiot, he'd have kept it to himself.
Oh.
There's something else weighing on his mind here. I'm certain of it.
Are we gonna
There you are.
I was gonna say, is it
Matthias.
gonna speak to us?
Do you remember the night of the ball, Rodrigue? Back in
Oh,
our days
I
at the
mean,
academy.
I remember the ball in Three Houses.
You, me, and Lambert grew weary of the festivities and stole away to train by ourselves.
How could I forget? The stars in that sky were a true sight to
It's
behold.
good to see traditions like that have lasted for
We talked
generations,
about all
though, like
sorts
the
of
ball.
things that
That's
night.
really cool, actually.
It was the first time we ever discussed our dreams for the future. And the last as
That's
well.
nice.
Lambert told us how he hoped to forge a peace between Fargus and the people of Srang in Dusker.
Ha! He certainly did.
Hmm.
And once he was named king, the man did his best to see it through.
Lambert was probably
Srang may have been a lost
the leader of
cause,
the
but
Blue
he
Lions
worked
that year, wasn't
tirelessly to
he?
bring
I'd imagine
Dusker
so.
into the fold.
Makes you wonder, though, when one of the heirs isn't actually there, is there still like a de
I've
facto
been
leader of
naive
each of the three houses?
His dreams sounded like the thing of childhood storybooks and cradle tales.
Hmm.
But these days, I wonder if I wasn't the naive one.
Ah,
He always took the long view of things, saw the whole continent unfolding before him. But me? I've lost too many over the years, and their blood
Yeah.
clouds my vision.
well,
I
like
could
it was
never
mentioning,
see
the Margrave
things
lost
now
his
as he
wife,
once did.
who was apparently one of the students, you know,
Could there
back in the
really
day with them.
be a
So they
pathway
were
to
probably like
peace?
childhood sweethearts, you'd imagine. There's probably
You haven't changed one bit.
a lot
Matthias.
weighing on his mind. In a
If
world
you
like,
regret what you said to
you know,
Sylvain, I
Fodlan,
suggest you find him and apologize
difficult.
before this goes any further.
Yes. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
the Lance of Ruin. Apparently we did get a weapon out of that. That's the only one we get a special weapon out. The Lance of Ruin was like a special weapon, though, I think was mentioned. Maybe it was by Sylvain. I don't remember. But yeah, let's hop into this. Catherine, Yuri, and Ash. That is an odd combo. But Catherine tells Ash what happens with his older brother, Kristoff, from her perspective. Interesting. We'll have to see how this goes.
So is it true, Catherine? About you and my brother?
Oh?
Yes, it's true. But are you sure you want to talk about this before your scouting mission?
I wouldn't have asked if I wasn't.
In that case, yes. I chose to hold to what I believed in, which meant he had to die.
Does Ash hold a grudge against Catherine, I
If
wonder?
you can't forgive me for it, then I stand ready for your challenge.
Hmm.
I have no right to judge you. I also betrayed people I cared about for my beliefs.
Yes, you have.
And in some cases, even
I'm
led
not
them
sure
to
exactly
their
what he's talking
deaths.
about in this path, but he's one of the characters
enough.
that's been available on every
Now
path.
get
Whereas
going.
Catherine, he's talking
And
to
make
someone
sure
who's
you keep
so
your
fiercely
emotions in
loyal
check while on
that she's
duty.
only available on this path.
Yes,
Kind of
ma'am.
crazy. Just a bit of that contrast. And again, I feel like it's a little bit different for Ash, because we've had like, well, I don't know that's fair to say, because we have like
Hey there,
Lawrence,
Slowpoke.
Raphael, a few
I think
nobles
this
from
is
the
everyone
Alliance and
who's
such,
available
but
at the
still.
moment. Oh, and I've got some bad news. Looks like
Oh,
Imperial
okay.
troops have surrounded Ash's scouting unit.
In that case, we better go lend him a hand.
Sounds like they got wise to our plan.
Yep. Either Ash slipped up, or we've got a spy in our midst. Still, they sent a pretty impressive force if they're just looking to take out one little scout
Yeah.
party.
I mean, that's kind of what I feel like the paralogs
That's why
are.
we think their
We've got a
true aim
couple
lies
units, and then all of a
elsewhere.
sudden, whoever we're fighting just sweeps in with a massive force that they can apparently spare. They're probably after the main
Maybe
force,
they're
though, you'd
hoping to
imagine.
Take out Ash before moving on to our main force.
I mean, if they are a scouting party, you take a big group to get out the
Doubtful.
scouting party. They
While
have no
their
idea.
force is larger than necessary for a single
I was
scouting
wrong.
unit,
That makes sense.
It's nowhere near large enough for a full-on assault.
Oh, to be fair, I couldn't have known
Plus,
how
they've
big the
already
force
lost
was,
the
but
element of surprise.
still.
No, I think they're coming after Ash.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, some of the enemy's soldiers were flying the
Let's
flag
get
of
spy.
House Gaspar.
Oh no. We obviously want to express concern for Ash, but I'm actually genuinely
That's
curious.
where Ash is from,
Yeah.
right? The House of Lord
I was gonna say
Lenato?
his adoptive father's house, no?
Yes. But with Lord Lenato dead, it's now all but wiped out. And Ash won't be especially popular with anyone who managed to
Yeah.
escape the culling.
You could be
No,
the
I do
most
vaguely
virtuous,
remember us taking out
upstanding
Lord
knight in the land,
Lenato, but
and still be the embodiment of evil to whoever is on the other
it's
side.
not the sharpest thing in my memory.
Well, that's a fun thought.
We don't know much about the enemy, but there don't seem to be any generals of note among them.
Okay.
So here's the
There'll
plan.
still probably be an any
We're all
commander,
going to
but
rush in there, grab
see.
Ash, and hightail it back out. Good? Good.
good. Yep.
Already, my knights. You two make sure you're prepared too. If we aren't quick about this, we're all going to end up very dead.
It must be hard for Ash to fight against what remains of his old house.
Yeah, it's gotta be, but
If he's
there was so
not
much
ready to
internal
help with the
strife
League,
during this
we
path
should get out of the
within the
killing
kingdom
business.
that it's just
When you're alive
not super
and looking to stay
surprising.
that way, your interests inevitably butt up against someone else's.
That too. I mean, it's wartime.
And look, Ash is
Yuri
clearly
has a
in
point,
tough
but
spot,
there's not
but
really
he's
any
no
getting
fool.
away from it, especially
He's
as a
come
noble.
too far to lay down his life now.
Hmm.
I mean, he killed his own father figure in the name of justice. It'll take more than this to shake him.
You've got a lot of confidence
Yeah,
in
there you
him.
go. I didn't know Yuri had a good relationship with Ash.
Hey, the guy came from nothing, just like me.
Oh.
I can't help but
Fair
root
enough.
for him.
Yeah, the Ashen Wolves are all very unique characters. I remember when they first came out in the DLC, I wasn't 100% certain. I was like, this seems a bit odd, but I think they did a good job. Another 12 minutes, 1,200 enemies. So these paralogs do seem to be like longer stages than the just rank and file like 7-minute stages, but they're definitely shorter than story stages. Like I have an idea this recording will probably end up being around 2 hours if I had to guess. I don't know how long the last stage will take, but we have this paralog plus another 3. How do we get in there? Looks like we could have gone up through that left side area as well. Just capture. What's this? Oh, this isn't the fort. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, Ash has always been in a bit of a tough position though, I feel. Again, it just depends, because again, we have like several members of the Alliance on every single path, so maybe it's not fair to say, but I do really feel like it's a bit different when it comes to some units. Like when we have Dorothea on every path, which I was genuinely a little bit sad that we didn't have Lysithea on this path. Although I don't know if there's really a prerogative for her to be on this path, you know? I just like the character personally. But that said, just interesting. Hey, we hit level 80. Nice. We're actually at the level for the gatekeeper. Door quest now.
I recognize all of
I don't
these
think that's
faces.
easily spent. That's fair. But
Betraying Renato.
I already lost my train of thought. Oh, that's awkward.
Catapults! Watch out, everyone!
Maybe I'll remember it in a second.
Things I do for this kid. I see why his brother always looked out for him.
Ash, I'm coming to rescue you, so don't you dare die before I get there.
Huh? Was that Catherine? What do I do?
Oh, sorry, it was the... Sorry, that was like a solid like 10 seconds of me just sitting there trying to remember what I was thinking and feeling dumb. So it was, we were talking about like the characters that were recruited on every path, right? Like Dorothea, though, it makes sense.
Sorry for the trouble.
You know, she's
Really.
songstress. While she is obviously within the Empire, she's not... It's not quite the same, obviously. You know, she's not the nobility. Again, it's very different. Different characters. Again, the Alliance is just a different case in my thought. And, you know, Mercedes was recruitable on the Empire's path specifically because of Yuritsa. Just stuff like, there's very specific reasons for a lot of characters to join. Whereas for me, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Again, I get that there is the situation with Lonato, but he's like the only character, like the Ashen Wolves too, it makes sense for them to be playable on every path. Ash is just the only character to me that genuinely, like, you can have him on every path. And maybe it's because I wasn't super connected to the character. I'm sure there's people that love every single character. You know, that's kind of the beauty, the charm of Fire Emblem games. But that said, it just doesn't make much sense to me in his case. Closed off the gates at the bottom. Okay.
Oh look!
I would assume.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah, we'll send Catherine down.
Come on, let's kill these guys and get out of here.
What are we doing? Overall, like, I've really enjoyed Three Hopes. I've heard that, I was looking things up, and I've heard it didn't actually get super good reviews in some areas, specifically because Byleth is an enemy at first, which is fair. Because Byleth, obviously the main protagonist character, tends to be a big draw for the games. That being said, though, I think they did a really good job with it.
But I did what
I really
thought
like
was right.
Shez. So, we have to reach the evacuation point specifically with Ash.
Let's keep moving. Well, a different way, because there's no getting through here.
It's a small wooden gate. Okay. Fair enough. Let's,
Lots of enemies this way too. Guess we
That's
just
not.
gotta
I went to the wrong character because I'm dumb. There you go.
No other choice. Keep up, Ash.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so genuinely curious though. She said his brother died because she had to keep her convictions. It makes you wonder, was this mentioned in this? I genuinely don't remember if we ever know specifically what happened to his brother. If it was mentioned in the path or anything like that. I don't know. I think that is, again, the consequence of not doing these paralogs as they show up, but eh. Granted, this paralog probably showed up when we recruited Catherine, so I don't know.
Someone finally snapped out of it.
And all things aside, Lonato did seem to be a very good adoptive father to Ash, despite the choices that Lonato chose to make. I believe Lonato was the lord who attacked Rhea because he just had a previous grudge or something like that. I think that was the character. Yeah, actually that makes sense. I think that's what it was. Lonato was the character who had lost his son because of the church. And that's why he had kind of gone ahead on his own will and attacked. I think that's the character. It's slowly coming back to me. Again, I could just be horribly wrong, but... So I seem to remember there was a character who went ahead on his own, and they were talking about like how it was members of the kingdom were frustrated because they had gone off before we could reinforce, the Empire could reinforce them. And we saw kind of the flip side of that on the Empire path. So I think that's the character they're talking about, and they did mention that they had a grudge because of a previous death of a son. Which is fair. But again, that makes me wonder, was Catherine actually the one that straight up killed him? Tough to say. But overall, yeah, it's one of those things that there's a lot of burden on Ash's shoulders, but generally speaking, I don't think that Lonato would have lived, obviously. Well, we know we wouldn't have from other paths, but blaming Ash for Lonato's death is sad to me. Why is Yuri all the way up in that corner? I thought they said there wasn't any commander of note. Oh, it's this guy. Hello, Dale.
Oh dear. It appears my friends from Gaspar weren't up to the task.
He must be the one who incited this whole rebellion. He'll pay for that with his life.
I think that's by, yeah, I was gonna say, we have like 3 A-bars in both Catherine and Shez. Let's just drag them up here.
But a humble merchant. Pray do not concern yourselves with me.
I really like the look of Thunderbrand though as a weapon. I think it's really cool. We got it on the Alliance path too, and then we just did never use it.
Why does nothing ever go as planned?
There we go. That was a pretty fast fairly like.
And that's that. Come on, Ash. Let's go.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice, nice. We do have quite a few of those permanent stat upgrade items. I don't even know how I'm going to use them for. I will probably play through this game again on my own time. Maybe do like the paths where you don't save Byleth or recruit Byleth, but
Though I have to say,
I'm not
we
sure.
cut that way closer than I'm comfortable with.
You're telling me. I could have done without that wretched merchant riling up what was left of Gaspar. I'm gonna need hazard pay for that one. Remind me to send Dimitri an invoice later.
Don't trouble His Majesty with such things.
Easy there, friend. I'm just blowing off some steam. Don't go getting your honor in a twist.
Well,
honestly, though, to be fair, I don't know if you can really request hazard pay when your singular job is fighting in a war.
Wonder if I'm even worthy of
A little bit
the
difficult.
Our entire
I think you'll
job
be
is
okay,
killing
yeah.
people.
I think you'll be okay, Ash.
It's what we do from sun up to sundown. You really think
There's
that
no
line
avoiding
won't
it.
make you an enemy or 3?
Yes, you're right. And if I needed it, this was certainly a stark reminder. Lenato once told me to hold true to my beliefs. So, I'll keep trusting my own sense of justice and walk the path I've chosen. There's no turning back now.
That's tough. I think what he genuinely needs is like, he's obviously already taking it seriously, so I think what we do is just try to be cheerful.
Thank you, friend. And thanks to you as well, Catherine.
I could never abandon an ally in need. Besides, I owe it to Kristoff to keep you alive.
So I probably should have asked this already, but
Yeah, that has to be the son that was mentioned in that
Ash's
singular story
adopted
battle.
older brother, and Lord Lenato's true son. We were classmates at the academy.
Oh, okay.
And close friends.
I wonder which house, genuinely, I wonder which house Catherine was part of. It would probably be the kingdom if I had to guess, because I think it is mentioned that she comes from a noble house in the kingdom. But I'm just curious.
But when he got swept
Because
up in
nowadays she doesn't have any
conspiratorial
connection,
plot,
but still.
I had no choice but to put him to the
Oh,
sword.
he got, okay.
this all sounds very complicated.
Well, it probably was.
Oh, it is. But you can't escape your past. No one
So he got
can.
caught up in something he shouldn't have.
You, Ash, Yuri, we all have our baggage.
Well, what say we head back? I'm sure everyone is waiting for us.
Good idea. The kingdom will need to decide how to deal with House Gaspar.
I hope they can find some measure of peace.
Yeah.
Regardless, I intend to help them however I can.
Whatever fragments still remain of the house, even if he is the adoptive son of,
it tends to make additional
you know, the
work for
house,
the
it's
rest
just,
of us.
no, it'd be tough. I know Ash was
Seriously,
saying
Yuri,
he wasn't sure if
won't
he'd
you
be
just
worthy of
agree with
accepting the
me for
position, but
once?
again, that's a rough one. That's a really rough one.
What's wrong, Catherine?
No, nothing. Just thinking about the past is all.
It's just sad though, how both of these paralogs are mentioning, you know, previous friends that these people had that are just straight up gone. And again, that's part of wartime. That just, it's kind of sad. Yeah, here we go, Night of Wonder. Constance is ready to test out a revolutionary spell in night. Yeah, as she's like on the nighttime personality. But tonight the Intrepid young mage is more interesting. Interesting. We have Annette, Mercedes. We've used Mercedes a bit because she's kind of like the resident person that I had healing on. Which wasn't really necessary, but it's New Game Plus on normal, you know. Annette, I have not used Annette hardly at all. I do believe I leveled her to like 45, and then Constance we've used a bit, but that's because we've had multiple Ash and Wolves paralogs. So we'll see how this is.
You wanted to see me, Constance? Oh, and hey, Annette. Hey, Mercedes.
You, my friend, are late. And after I specifically told you to hurry, too.
I was curious if it was going to start during the day, or if it was going to be,
For shame, I say.
straight up nighttime Constance. I would apologize,
Hey,
but...
sorry about that. Didn't realize it was so urgent.
Of course it's urgent. If I'm going to be on an excursion,
Oh,
it is
yeah, that's fair.
imperative that it ends before sunrise. There is no need
My
to
question
worry,
is,
Constance.
when does Constance
The
sleep?
night's
Because if
only
she
just
sleeps during the
begun
night, she doesn't get to do these
We
experiments
have
and such, and
plenty
if
of
she sleeps
time.
during the day, that's when things are
In
happening,
that
you know?
case, I will mirror Mercedes' magnanimity and grant you forgiveness.
Okay.
Well, now that I'm here, can someone tell me what all this urgency is actually about?
I desire your assistance in testing a new
That sounds
bit
like
of
a bad
magic I've
idea.
developed.
That sounds like it's hazardous for
I've
health.
been working tirelessly on it these past 2 years, and last night, I finally had a breakthrough. This is
Okay.
a magic to surpass all others, one with nearly unlimited power and range. 'Tis a magic that will revolutionize the very world, and tonight marks its debut.
What are you going to use it on?
Since I'm not certain she's going to get around to this part, her magic requires a very rare gemstone.
Do one of these two just randomly have it?
Thankfully, Constance got her hands
Never
on one
mind.
yesterday, which is why she's ready to test it now.
It was originally just going to be the 3 of us, but then we figured having a little muscle
Yeah, I was gonna
around
say all
might
3
not
of
be
these
the
are
worst
mages.
idea in the world.
Magic users.
So naturally, we thought of you.
Makes sense. Sure, I'm in.
Wonderful. Well then, let's be off.
Okay, interesting. I'm curious to see where this
All right,
goes.
The materials are all ready, so we can start the test anytime. Yes! Finally, all is in order. Permit me to introduce you to the ultimate magic. That ruined castle in the distance should make for an excellent target.
Are you sure that's a
Yeah,
good
I was gonna
idea?
say, what if there's people hunkering down inside? This keeps my score. I would say
Mercedes
probably
has a
don't do that
point.
though.
I mean, what if someone's actually living in there?
Indeed. It wouldn't do to harm any.
She's already gone, isn't she? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, this is gonna be one of those moments where she's already
Voice
gone.
came from the castle. You didn't cast your spell yet, right? No, not yet.
Okay,
Which
that's
means that voice is...
good timing.
Please, help! They captured everyone in the village!
Shut up and move your feet. Ain't no one gonna hear you all the way out here anyway.
Unfortunate for you,
Bandits.
Mr. Thief.
And they're headed right for the castle.
Yep.
There's no time
Let
to go
loose
back
the
and get
magic.
reinforcements.
Yeah, they've got
Come on,
hostages in
take
this
'em
torn
on
down
ourselves.
castle. Let's just blast them all.
You're
It'll be
right.
great.
We have to help those poor people. Just when my experiment was so close to fruition. Still, I could never forgive myself if I abandoned people in need. Let us be off with all haste.
Okay. 15 minutes, 1500 enemies, so theoretically a bit longer of a paralogue. Good to know. What's the objective?
Return to dust by the power of my magic.
Keep the bone knights, okay.
People are being
The
held
closest one there is
captive in here,
Constance.
and we have to
Let's take this
rescue them.
stronghold too.
You're right. We can't just abandon them, no matter how scary.
Is that
it
just a
might
really
be.
powerful weapon? My Constance is level 45?
The time has come.
Like I said, I've given pretty much everyone for these paralogs the levels they need to be at least at the correct level.
We're sure the
Or
people
close to
we're
it.
trying to rescue won't get caught up in
And then... like, I've changed skills and such for, I know, the Ashen Wolves as well, but that did a lot of damage. That missed. That didn't do any damage. Better with the bow and arrow. Wow! Ow! How much damage did that do? Oh, that was only 1%. Yeah, damage taken really doesn't seem to be part of the factor. Unless I have... Oh, you know what? No, I probably have a... Hold up. Do I have a... Okay, I do have Life Force. Never mind. I was gonna say, I was like, did that really... That was a good chunk of damage. Yeah. And then it looks like... Is that a net up here? Yeah, my net is not so strong. Just being at a decent level doesn't necessarily help. I've tried to give everyone at least like silver weapons, if not brave weapons, such and such. We've done this on like pretty much every path. It just depends. Overall, you know, I tend to use very similar units though, because I have my favorites, as I'm sure everyone does. I really like Shez. I like using Violet. We've used Gerald a fair amount. We use like Slippy on the other paths. It just depends. I wonder if the net also has Life Force though, because I don't think I would have taken that much damage naturally.
Can I use my new spell now? Why oh why won't you let
How
me
destructive
use
is
my
it?
new spell?
I'm like, oh,
Well, I don't see any villagers around, so sure, knock yourself out.
I figured she was exaggerating when she said it was like unlimited power and range, but still.
New spell and drink deep of its power.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Lightning, ice, dark magic, and fire?
Did you see what power
That is pretty wild actually.
has been reduced?
The only other mage I think that we see that uses a ton of different elements constantly is Lysithea.
What happened to our beautiful base?
Constance, that was amazing. I think we're gonna win this
Granted,
thing
I
in
haven't
no
used every
time.
mage, but like I was saying, that's the only one that I've notably seen. And even then, Lysithea, when she becomes a Grimoire, tends to focus, I think, on light and dark magic.
Let's get out of here.
But I remember pre-evolution, like all of her strong attacks would be different elements. It's actually really cool.
Perfect in every way.
I wonder what principles her magic is based on. We might be able to make it even more powerful with a couple of tweaks. Allow me.
What's that?
Constance, Annie? Let's
Yeah, we
just
have to have
try
Life Force
focus
on
the
the net.
battle in front of us for the time being.
Now's our chance to give them the slip.
I don't know what healing items I gave. Okay, looks like she has the top level healing items at least. Like, I don't even know what her right trigger does.
This reminds me of our time at the School of Sorcery. Remember how you and I always got paired together for assignments, Mercy?
Paired in knowledge with dear Mercedes? Even the sound of the words is ecstasy.
That did not hit, but I'll take it.
As you like later.
I feel like, I mean, I obviously miss weapon arts with like Shez and such all the time, just because you're facing slightly the wrong way. It's not like it auto locks a lot of the time. But sometimes the mage ones I just completely whiff, but then they'll still hit because of how it works. Oh no. I'm gonna teleport down here just so that this enemy doesn't get too far away. Would be annoying.
Be around here somewhere.
We're under attack. How did they find us?
Because some idiot was kidnapping people and was talking about it very loudly. That'll just about do it.
Less cackling and more dealing with all of those guards, please.
We'll get this trickster eventually. Oh gosh, this is the problem with paralogs though, is even if you level some of the units, doesn't mean they're all strong. I'm actually quite happy that my Constance at least seems to be semi-powerful. But she's obviously suffering. I mean, Life Force is... It helps. But geez, you drain your own life so fast. It reminds me of back in the day when we were using the, I can't remember the sword, but the red sword on Chez. That we leveled to like plus 75 and it lowers your health to 50% really fast.
Is anyone hurt?
We're fine.
I remember
But
that.
please help the others.
That was rough. It was like it increased your crit chance, I think, but as long as you were above 50% health, but it also drained your health constantly, and it was really annoying. It was a good power spike, I swear, early, but especially on that first path, but it messed my health up so many times. 8. Stop bullying that villager. I'm kind of surprised I didn't take out the stronghold captain.
Take a breather.
Yeah, it's nice that if worse comes to worse, for all these paralogs we still get Shez. It's unbelievably helpful. Wouldn't be helpful if, you know, we didn't use Shez, but I have a feeling most people probably did. The moveset just feels really, really nice.
Follow us. We're getting out of here.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay. I'm actually going to assign each of these 3 to a group of the villagers
I'll give it 1000%.
while we capture these side forts, just in case they do get attacked. I don't know if they will. A lot of times on escort missions, though, that is the case.
Just do as I plan. I must ensure these people don't get caught up in Constance's magic.
Or Constance could just, you know, not cast in the general vicinity. That's usually a pretty good way of making sure that doesn't happen.
We're cut off.
Leave all to me. Get the villagers to safety while I show these ruffians the power of my new and brilliant spell.
I still don't know how detrimental those ballista are, but they're annoying. So, oh, that's getting messed up somehow.
My ultimate, multifaceted, multifarious,
Yeah, the problem with Mercedes is she has that heal for the villager, but doesn't actually do that much damage. Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know who I need to take care of here. So that's apparently a pretty win-focused mage. That's interesting. There we go. I missed. It's a giant falling arrow and I missed everything. Oh, another dark knight just but this is why I feel like it is important to at least have all the characters for paralogs semi-leveled, otherwise you just run into this problem. And it can get really rough really fast. Right, Mercedes was the one currently fighting someone. And Mercedes only had a fire spell, that's... Okay. We used her in their main party for a little bit, I'm surprised they didn't change her skills actually. It's obviously not going to be a huge issue here, but still. I'm actually going to have Shez go help Mercedes.
Not a problem.
Because they're clearly the ones that are struggling the most. life force messed you up. Luckily, I mean, at this point in Tactics Academy, we had, you know, like, how many elixirs? So it's not really an issue. Ah, she's using neutral. That's not good. Oh no, I feel like, oh.
I'm getting pulled in.
Don't worry, villager, you'll be fine. The villager by Constance was kind of low though, so not to be worried about, but everyone's nearing their destination. Looks like we actually have to capture the fort though. Yeah. I missed. Wonder if there's a she very clearly lost control. Good enough enemies? Oh yeah, we're good. I never know. I literally just never know. That's not what I meant to. You're fine. You're fine.
Wonderful. Now we can escape.
I'm assuming there's still an enemy commander though.
Which way was the exit again?
Oh no. Never mind, we're good. Okay. Yeah, I was cutting a little bit close on that top group, but
See, that wasn't
it's fine.
so bad.
We were out there a long time. I think the sun is going to be up soon.
Oh, is the ending cutscene gonna be with Constance in the sun? I just feel bad for Constance when she's in the sun. She scares me a little bit at nighttime, you know? But I just genuinely feel bad. She always just sounds so sad.
No! How'd this happen?
Quite the stroke of ill luck for you that we happened upon your vile and wicked deeds.
Don't get too
I feel
worked
like,
up, Constance.
Constance would be a
tired
good,
from
like,
all that spell casting, no?
what's the
You
word,
want a
like
snack?
thespian
I brought
for
plenty just in
theater
case.
actors?
Oh,
I don't know if
my
that's the
dear
word, but
Mercedes and Annette.
I feel like she'd be good at that.
I so appreciate your concern for my well-being. As you well know, the three of us never got a chance to study together at the School of Sorcery.
Yep.
But if we had,
It's kind of a sad point for the
I'd like
Ashen
to
Wolves.
think it would have gone just like this.
Because again, the Ashen Wolves didn't get their like whole Academy story arc because we go time skipped at like
You sound
Chapter
sad,
3.
Constance.
That is one thing that I think Three Hopes did miss out on though.
Of course I'm
Is the
sad,
whole
you
Academy.
feckless oaf.
Use
If
Constance.
only I'd attended a year later, I'd have been reunited with my dear Mercedes.
Oh wait, was she there? The
And
apprentice?
met Annette as well.
I'm confused.
Well, we're together
Genuinely,
now.
this is the kind of thing that like I wish I'd played Three Houses again
Anyway,
before we did
I'm
this.
glad we got to
But we
see the
did
new magic
have to
up
go
close,
through like Fire
Constance.
Warriors, the
What a
first one to go
treat.
through, kind of get a grasp on the gameplay again. But
But we're not
doing another
finished yet,
playthrough or two of
Annette. I still
one of the
have
Three
need
Houses
of your
past could have refreshed a lot of this for me.
Your creative mind will be indispensable for putting the finishing touches on my magic.
Okay.
Please don't put it all on Annie. I'd be glad to help too.
Truly? Oh, but this fills me with joy!
The Ashen Wolves all seem to be
Seems like
characters
at
that,
least this phase of the test run
in
worked
varying
out in
degrees,
the
struggle
end,
with
yeah?
loneliness, and
Yes.
you know,
was
I think
able
that
to
comes from the fact
pinpoint
that
the spell's current
they were in the
shortcomings,
Ashen Wolves.
which means it was an
Makes me kinda
extremely
sad, though.
fruitful endeavor indeed.
I'm not gonna rain on her parade, but she definitely needs to.
Your magic was incredible.
Well, we are almost dead in a
We'd be
ditch
dead in a ditch right
because
now if not for you.
she lost control of the magic, but it was obviously very powerful.
Perhaps, although if there is one thing everyone knows, it's that I am never satisfied.
Okay.
And once I get my hands on another gemstone, the next step is to increase its precision and
Can she only cast? Is it like a consumable?
Oh dear.
Interesting.
Oh no. Is it that time already? The sun's coming up.
Wow, it is like
We
an
have to get
instant
Constance into the
change, though.
shade
That's
at
crazy.
once.
That's kind of a funny parallel, though. Oh, it's not over.
oh, there's no need to waste your energies on a sad
Oh,
little
no.
thing such as myself. I'm just happy you deigned to humor this crude experiment of mine. Alas, I can but offer my humble service as payment. If there are
Oh my
any
gosh.
menial or demeaning tasks that you need performed, you have but to ask.
Too late.
I'll never get used to this.
Yes, it does take a bit of adjustment. But cheerful or sad, she remains one of my
That's
dearest
nice.
friends.
Yeah, it was sort of confusing at first, but I've really grown to like this flavor of Constance.
Your kind words
Definitely a very
are
unique
far
character.
more than I deserve.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. And the only thing that's gonna help is a nice, cozy bed.
Good idea. Let's rest up today and get right back.
Yeah, but a little bit too soon there. But yeah, I genuinely wonder. That is one of the paralogs that I have no idea, you know, relatively when it happens, and it didn't seem like there was a whole lot that really suggested when it happens, like the other ones, you know. I mean, that first one we did was very clearly before Chapter 8. Let's see. Catherine, Schmier, and Gerald. 3 characters that I do have leveled quite a bit. They shouldn't be too bad. Members of the Knights of Seros, past and present, form a hastily assembled squadron to strike a blow against the evil plaguing foemen. I wonder if this is those who slither in the dark, or if it's another group. That does make me wonder.
Nice of you to finally join us.
Yeah. Oh, Eloise is here. And,
Sorry about that.
what's his name?
This is quite the lineup you've got here, though. Nothing but the best.
Oh, I recognize the face. I'm terrible with names, I swear. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm really good with faces, terrible with names. And it's gotten me into trouble. And I always feel, it's Gustav, yeah. I always feel so bad. I'm like, I know who you are, I promise. But I don't remember your name. I could pick people out of the crowd that, like, I worked with years ago, you know? Or, like, just met once or twice.
Gerald was in the Knights of Seros?
But, yeah. Oh, Shez didn't know that?
Big mouth. Yeah, I used to work with them in the past. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. They just did something
But back to the
weird
matter
to
at hand.
Byleth, and
There's clearly
Gerald had to run
something
away
big cooking
after his
together
wife
for a
died.
crew like this.
Nothing like that, you know?
Something really big. I can smell it. So come on, old man. Dimitri must have told you what's going on. Old man. Hey, when you've known him as long as I have, you can call him whatever you want. Go on, Gustav.
We have been asked to hunt down what remains of the Dark Mages commanded by Cornelia.
Interesting. So this is a little bit probably this. I'd have to imagine this is another one that probably showed up as soon as we recruited. Did we get I think we got Catherine before, so this is probably like a chapter 12 paralog, because that's when we got Byleth and Gerald. Not like you know what's going on.
Now I see why you
But
put
that's
this team
interesting too,
together.
because that means if Cornelia died at chapter 8, and again this paralog wouldn't have been available till we had Gerald. That's like a solid quarter of the path later. That there's apparently still members of the Cornelius faction still going on.
Yes? Well, a being with similar power once made her nest in Ferdiad. And while we were able to
Interesting.
defeat her, we recently located a cave she
Oh,
was
this is the
using
same
as
cave
a
that we
hideout.
went to in the Empire, in the Scarlet
According
Blaze
to reports,
path.
some of her
I don't remember if it was a
Dark
paralog or
Mage
main path,
trolls
but
are
I do
still
remember there's
there
like a workshop we
and
went to.
preparing to leave imminently. When they do, we will launch a surprise attack and finish them off in one fell swoop.
So cut down the mages before they can escape. Easy enough.
Well, it's knights versus mages.
Or maybe not so easy, considering who we're up against. We'd best stay on our toes.
Yeah.
Yet I remain convinced our combined powers are enough to prevail against even the stoutest foe.
Yeah, I like the optimism, Eloise.
Just as we did back in our days with the knights. And our knights as well.
I love puns, but I think Shez would.
Hey, play along. You'll make Eloise sad.
You play along.
I'm sorry,
Oh
did
my
you not get
gosh.
it? You see, there are knights like us.
And now
with
he's
the swords and the
explaining it.
armor and whatnot,
The
and
fact that she just
sounds
says, "Hey,
like
play
knight,
along,"
which is
Hey, play along. You'll make Eloise sad.
and then Shez just so indignantly.
You play along. Let's just
Oh
get
my
on with
gosh.
this. So who's actually leading this little operation? I mean, everyone here is more than capable of handling themselves on a battlefield.
My place is on the front lines, swinging a sword. Leave the orders to somebody else. Yep, I'll follow whoever. You choose.
I will respect the group's decision.
I would choose Gerald, but I feel like it might also be Shez, naturally.
I think there can only be
Yeah,
one
yeah, that's
choice.
what I thought.
Captain Gerald.
Me, huh? Great. I'd have better luck herding cats than getting this ragtag team to fall in line.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. This is one of those groups that you could probably just get to the right location and have them just kind of do their own thing, you know? Allies routed. So the only ally is... Okay, I don't know if Alois is on the field. Is that... Okay, he is. Okay. So we can't let Alois or Gustav fall. And I think it said don't let anyone escape. 15 minutes, 1,500 enemies. Okay. Not a big deal.
The enemies split up, and we should do the same. Don't let them get away.
Wait, this is the map that is like caves on the left half, isn't it? Yeah, this should not be a terrible paralog. Unlike last time where we even still had like Mercedes and Annette or any of the other ones we've done really, every single character we have here is leveled and geared. Well,
Shame none of that daring wore
did we
off
just
on
fail the
you when
mission?
you were his right-hand man.
What just...
Then perhaps it's right I be left behind.
What?
They got away. You really messed this one up.
We were 2 seconds into... What? What the heck? How did they reach an evacuation point immediately?
Left to our own devices already?
Oh, this Wyvern Rider must have just rushed the evacuation point. Oh my gosh. That's wild.
Shame none of that daring wore off on you when you
I guess I should have been looking at them. Oh, we gotta catch up. Oh, we gotta catch up. They're moving fast. Oh no. Why are they moving so fast? No, 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 no. I should have ordered Geralt to stop them. Here I was using Shez as always, just kind of get some extra enemies down, but jeez. That's crazy. Yeah, that Wyvern Rider must have literally just flown straight to the evacuation point. That's wild. To be fair, they at least spawn, you know, one of your units right there, but still. That seems a little bit odd. Now's the time to cleave through some of these enemies, see what's going on. Never mind.
We've got time to go to work.
Catherine, you take care of that one. Let's take control of Shamir and make sure the other one doesn't need you. Oh my gosh, no, we have to take control of Catherine in this rush. Why are they so fast? They're so fast. What? No, 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 no. Are you kidding me? That's so ridiculous. What? That doesn't make any sense.
Really messed this one up.
I don't know if this paralog was thought through. We do have 2 mounted units, but like, what? I mean, if we don't literally instantly, and I mean instantly have people in that direction, they get away immediately. That's crazy.
Not sure if this is trust or indifference.
Daring tactics such as this are all part of
Like, honestly, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that Shamir is out here, and I'm going to take this stronghold. Because Geralt should be able to just hold them by himself. Yeah, as long as they're fighting Geralt, they shouldn't continue retreating. But that's wild. That's crazy. Like, we immediately ordered Catherine after them, and they do move pretty fast even when you're not controlling them. But, like, what?
Hope the rest of this goes just as smooth.
Alright, where did they spawn? One spawned here, okay. Yeah, here, now that we know where they're spawning, we're able to at least get ahead of them, but that's really dumb. The other 2 are preoccupied with Shamir. Genuinely, when we get to this point though where some of them are preoccupied, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna move my units here, because those 2 are fighting Shamir. They shouldn't reach the evacuation point first. That's wild. Like, I want to take these forward forts here, because I have a feeling once Shamir takes them out, they're gonna move forward. And it's very clearly not even defeating the enemies here, it's just... they're fast. this should help. I mean, on the plus side, we do have 2 Malkuth units here in Gerald and Shamir. That's just upsetting.
This sure takes me back to when you were with the Knights, I mean. We were always tearing up like this.
Yeah.
And striking down our enemies. I'd always count on you to watch my back. Let me at it. Should I start calling you partner again? Right then. I think we handled our business. There are bound to be more lurking in the shadows.
You need to mention, so they are quite literally called those who slither in the dark. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is not very good.
I'm on it.
Have Gerald hit this group?
Let's see how it goes.
Has Shez hit this group?
Not a problem.
Shamir needs to immediately reach this one. And we'll take control of Catherine and
Let's
rush.
give it a shot.
Rush these ones right
So
here.
many. Everyone, join up and fight as one. Don't let them through.
Yeah, it's actually a really good thing all of our units are leveled here.
Fighting as one, then biting the dust.
Don't forget smiting.
Alright, because now there's only this one right here that I'm running towards that isn't currently preoccupied. That is... I don't know if I like this mission. I actually really like the group that it brought together. I thought it was going to be really cool. And then I failed the stage within like 5 seconds. Again, that's my lack of like situational awareness, I suppose. Because I just didn't realize that they were rushing that, but still.
But the Knights of Seros remain as formidable as ever.
I don't know. Seeing you fight makes me wish I could see the old Knights in
Yeah, I
action.
don't think Gerald fought alongside anyone here except maybe Alois.
Your marksmanship is still
Maybe Gustav, I'd imagine. Well, Gustav's... You'd imagine Gustav was still alive at the time. But Catherine and Shamir, I always figured, were like a newer generation compared to Gerald. I actually don't know how old Catherine and Shamir are. I always assumed they were like mid-late 20s.
Good work, everyone.
Right back at you, Gerald. Let's keep it up. Maybe we should try to get ahead of the enemy and cut off their escape.
Great minds.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's go.
They're undisciplined. Where do they think they're...
We're gonna send... We need to make sure we have...
Time to
Oh
go to
gosh.
Forward, march!
Send
I've got
Shamir
it.
to this bottom one because she's
On the move.
mounted. Okay, I don't know if we'll have to
Not a
defeat an
problem.
enemy at these evacuation
Move
points.
going.
Ah, you clever beasts. We can't permit you to cut us off.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like they're just strongholds then.
If we can subdue those strongholds, we can block off their escape.
Take a breather.
Perfect.
I live, stand back!
I pray you might afford me the pleasure of sacking this place myself.
I think it's funny. Don't worry, Alois.
Is he trying to impress us?
I believe this is how he shows his excitement.
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to impress him so much as just how Alois is, but...
I'll take point. We've captured all the strongholds. Our enemy has nowhere to run now.
Alrighty. Defeat conditions have changed.
You've done well, everyone. But where's their commander?
Ugh, I knew we should
Oh,
have
it's
shown
Kronia.
up for this.
Is she not dead in this path? Is Myson not dead by this point in this path? Again, this is a paralogue that with the characters that we have, it couldn't have been earlier than chapter 12. Interesting.
Those must be the leaders. Let's finish this.
Alright, this is Myson. Hi, Myson. This arrow is for you.
You're mine.
That didn't do that much damage. Although, you know, still did the job. There we go. Okay.
I live for this.
I missed. That's awkward.
Abandon this place.
Oh, they do retreat. Interesting.
Let that one go. You still have the other.
I know Kronia, we definitely kill Kronia in a story stage in Scarlet Blaze. But I'm pretty sure in Golden Water she just kind of disappeared and then we never saw her again, which was interesting. That ought to do it.
No, not again. What am I going to tell Talus this time?
Tell him you failed. Not much else to tell Talus.
Not too happy we let them go, but I'd say we achieved our goal.
More or less.
Indeed. Though we must report news of the escapees to His Majesty.
Well, that was a deal. I mean, not that I'm complaining.
I did not defeat enough enemies. That's awkward. I'm not super worried about it. You can do all the paralogs and stuff. If I start up a new path, you can actually do all the other stuff in the records hall. So. And this one was just a battalion.
Well, that's that. Sure made us work for it.
I was more just worried. Yeah, I was gonna say I was really worried about all of them escaping.
But I think we did pretty well, all things considered. How about you?
I'd praise them both. I think
getting the drop on them like that really took the wind out of their sails.
They both suggested the same thing, but
so while I think we all fought well, Gerald's command was what really brought the wind home.
Hear, hear. There's no way I could have led a motley bunch like this.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna say, none of them are really, not kind of Chess, they're really like the leadership type, you know, except for maybe Gerald, and even then Gerald seems to kind of avoid that nowadays. Shamir's kind of a lone wolf that kind of goes alongside with Catherine. Catherine's just a fighter. Alois is very clearly not a leader. He ditched the knights and joined Gerald. Same thing with Gustav. Gustav's not really.
And you all have plenty going on in your own careers. It is unlikely we'll be together like this again.
Maybe not, but
I can't help but feel a bit wistful. Once, we shared the same mission during the day and broke bread together at night.
Technically, we're on the same army in this path. If we were in any other path, Catherine would be super dead by now, but, you know.
We're short-handed as it is, what with the war and all.
I appreciate the invitation, but I left the order so I might continue to fight alongside Gerald and repay my debt to him. What's more, I've come to enjoy the freedom this lifestyle provides me.
I always wondered how old Alois is too. Like, Alois was obviously old enough that he knew Gerald back in the days of the Knights. But just by design, I never thought that Alois was quite as old as Gerald. I'm sure there's an official age for them. That's just my personal,
like you don't need me to do your bidding.
Like what I assumed.
Bid me a doing.
Stop.
Even if this is our last time together, the experience will give us strength on our separate paths. Let us be satisfied with that.
Oh, and when Gerald gets tired of your jokes and kicks you out, we'll still take you back.
Jeez.
My dear Shamir.
You know, I've got my differences with the church, so I can't say I miss being a Knight of Seros. But today was pretty fun. If we ever get this chance again, count me in.
Okay. That was actually a pretty wholesome prologue. Alright, last one. Shoot the breeze with the gatekeeper. Reminiscences about the good old days. I should theoretically, I'm sure, be able to clear this. I think my gatekeeper's level 70 now. I'm not even going to try and get an S rank. Frankly, this sounds painful. A level 80 mission. We're in our third path. Shez is only level 80.
Commander. Nothing to report.
I still think it's such a hilarious meme that they added this character to this game.
Just standing here all day, huh?
Oh, not at all. I've been doing it for years now, so I'm very much used to it.
Just standing in one place like that kills my back.
Hey, that's right. You were the gatekeeper back at Garreg Mach, too.
Yes, that's where we first met 2 years ago. But so much has happened since then.
Strange times for you, too?
The strangest. When Garreg Mach fell, I honestly
Yeah,
had
there's
no
no
idea
gate
what I would do.
anymore.
But when I see all of you fighting day in and day out, well, it makes me realize how peaceful my time at the monastery truly was.
I guess it was pretty nice, all things considered.
I mean, not to say a lot didn't happen during your time there.
Again,
Goodness, no.
we really missed out on Three Hopes on the Academy days.
Students were attacked by bandits and brigands. A missing
I mean, that is
student was
literally like
rescued
all
from
that happened when
evildoers
we were
whose
there,
boss
though.
fled the academy. And on top of it all, we had the incident with the mock battle trespasser.
You mean the thing I did?
Indeed, it was truly
Jeez.
unprecedented. But we all had a good laugh at the end.
The Gatekeeper's just such a wholesome character.
Folks still give me a hard time about that. It was on a day like today, actually. Calm weather, a lazy afternoon.
You're lost
Oh, is this a
again,
flashback?
aren't you?
Can you
Yeah,
get
that's
off
fair.
my back for 1 second? I thought this was a shortcut to the monastery.
It's weird seeing Shez in the Academy outfit
Well,
too,
it's
because
not.
I've not
It's
been
not
using it,
even
and
the
it's
right
literally
direction.
like 3 chapters again.
We're so far afield, I'll be surprised if we ever see Garrett mock again.
Poor Shez.
Wait, I hear voices. This must be the right way.
You're not listening to me at all, are you?
Of course I am. But just look through here and... Huh?
Oh, is this the battle of like the... It is. What do you mean level 80? They're level 100. With plus 70 weapons, what? This is gonna be rough. On the plus side, Shez has a natural advantage against the Edelgard, I suppose. Where's the Gatekeeper? 1,000 enemies? I'm not even gonna worry about getting an S rank. This is just gonna be
Strange.
boss rush.
Could have sworn I heard someone just now.
I was led to believe she
I
would
heard
not
one.
be participating today. Perhaps the church granted the lady a special dispensation?
Interesting.
What's Ferdinand doing here? Oh, right. Today's the mock battle.
So Shez just shows up and starts clobbering everybody.
Battlefield? Well, I'm totally lost.
I see you have taken the side of the enemy. Very well.
Sorry, Ferdinand.
Expect no mercy from me.
Yeah, this is literally just gonna be us rushing every enemy, isn't it? That is actually really funny. That's actually really cool though, because this is one of the things that we really missed out on. Was that big was it the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion, or was that a historical fight? I don't remember the name of it, but when we had the big field, there was like a cutscene for it in Three Houses. It's really, really cool actually.
Move here. I guess it would be better to take out the stronger one first.
Oh, there's damage. Ferdinand's already down. Probably not use all my weapon durability early, given how things are going so far. Maybe focus on using the cheaper one just to get that card break.
In that case, I shall take you on myself.
Hi, Lawrence. I wonder why Shez, aside from obviously like story and such, why Shez wasn't taking part of in the mock battle though. You'd think she would have just participated on whatever side of that, whichever house she was in. Because obviously they would have wanted to win. So why not employ the mercenary who you literally invited to the academy because she rescued your life?
Clearly no ordinary sellsword.
Yeah, I thought... Do we actually not even have the gatekeeper for this quest? Is this just a Shez battle?
I lost? Oh, the absurdity of it all.
Let's go defeat some enemies though while we're waiting. Get some of the A charge back.
I never even got the chance to explain.
That mercenary is not supposed to be here. Or am I misremembering how this works?
Jeez.
Well, it would be a bit boring to call off the battle now. Why don't we join
Oh
forces
yeah, let's
against
just
our
all
new
team
foe?
up on Shez. Nice.
3 classes against 1 highly skilled mercenary.
That, do you? That's like 20 people at least, depending on how many are actually on the battlefield. Seems a bit unfair.
You know this is my fault. Come on.
Shez is like, I got lost. It was me. Not an argument, Leonie.
I lost.
It was me.
Looks like it's time for me to
I
hit
feel
the
it.
training grounds.
Okay, if you insist. Spar? I guess spar. One shame, I think, for this playthrough is that I just really didn't enjoy using fist weapon users. We had like Kaspar, Balthus, and Raphael, and none of them characters. I just didn't feel like their kits felt that good to play. Other than fair, we didn't use that many archers either. It was pretty much like Claude and Shamir. And we didn't even use Claude that much. And we really only used Shamir for the same path as a substitute for Claude until we got Geralt.
That was close, but I'm glad it's finally over.
Yeah, we still have the 3 leaders.
Yeah, looks like I spoke too soon.
Third wave, move in.
Oh my gosh. They're sitting here having their little rival moth battle and they're like, oh, Shez showed up. We're going to all team up on her. It's genuinely pretty funny. Mercedes gets over here. I'm going to... Actually... Hopefully this catches Mercedes as well. I'm still unclear on the range sometimes of stuff like this. It did, okay. Let's these 2 down. So it looks like it's probably 2 from each house here. Sorry guys. Hi Monica.
Make sure to protect me, Hubert.
As Hubert was standing further back. Hi Hilda. Maybe we should save the A-bar because we clearly have to defeat the 3 leaders as well. Yeah, we should be good. This doesn't feel like a level 80 battle, honestly.
I'll never be
Gonna be
able to
honest.
show my face around Lady Edelgard again.
Why? It's a mock battle. I guess it is Monica, but so.
Told you to leave me alone.
I'm sorry, Hilda.
Nothing's tougher than a battle-hardened mercenary.
The thing is, this... Yeah, I was gonna say, KO count should be exactly accurate because it's just us. We just have the leader, so unless we cleared a bunch of the enemies on the top... S rank wasn't as hard as... I thought it was gonna be like a quest with us and the gatekeeper, like, I don't know, holding a gate. It's not what it was, but that's what I assumed it was gonna be. We could still try for it, though.
Not sure it will make a difference, but yes, let's give this foe everything we have.
I wonder, are they all converging at once, or do we actually just fight them all by themselves? House leader's on fire, don't
People seem quite serious for a mock battle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're just out here lost. In the middle of nowhere. And now we're pulled into the fight. That is a ton of enemies that they brought with them, jeez. Yep, yep. Could have seen more to keep fired up. Is it? Because you're all about to go down. It's a legend. I don't use this ability on Shez hardly ever because it's fun and all, but it just seems so unnecessary most of the time. Well, Dimitri's the last one standing, which kind of makes sense actually because Dimitri's the one with the advantage against us. The sword's good against Axe, and then... Yeah. I keep thinking, oh well, we have the advantage against Claude because most Wyvern Riders wield axes, but I guess we don't have the advantage against Claude either. Shoot. Ow. Ow. How much damage have we taken? Wow, I've already taken... This is the first time I've taken too much damage too. That's actually the reason we're gonna fail this fight too. Or fail the S raid. That's genuinely surprising. So I think that percentage, I've been thinking about too, I think it's a percentage, it's the collective of like all your characters. So if it's like a 50% damage and you have 4 characters, I think it's 50% of like their 4 collective healths. Because you take a gun, like you take all the entire health bar in like a critical hit and it still doesn't fill up that bar. Why is Dimitri not taking damage? Yeah, go figure. The very last paralog on the very last path is the first time we fail an S rank due to damage. It was because at the very end we were just kind of getting battered around by Dimitri. That's okay.
The Blue Lions are defeated. Well done.
This one was also just, I think it was what, the Saros Gatekeepers? I wonder how good those battalions are. Because pretty much all the battalions just seem to be a small difference in like you have an advantage against a certain weapon.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this later.
She probably did. Yeah, we didn't even have the Gatekeeper though, go figure. I spent a ton of resources getting the Gatekeeper. We got 3 levels off that too. This would be the stage to grow. Well, never mind. I was about to say this would be the stage to grind for levels, and then I realized it's just for Shez, you know. But go figure. I leveled up my Gatekeeper to like level 70, gave him a Lance of Zoltan in preparation for this paralog.
I hate to say it,
And then we
but you
didn't even
really
use
showed
the
us what's what out there.
Gatekeeper.
I wasn't certain what would happen when you arrived, but you gave us as much as we could
We
handle.
defeated like 15 students, what was it?
Proved to
15,
be a
16?
fine test for us all.
I mean, the end was the 3 leaders plus the 6. We defeated like 5 or 4, so...
Single-handedly. I hope word of this doesn't get out.
Maybe it wasn't quite
or
that
we'll
many,
never
but
be able to show our faces
it was a good number.
You seem terribly powerful for a simple mercenary. Is there more to you than meets the eye?
Yeah.
Not that I know of. I'm just your run-of-the-mill sellsword. But I've been swinging a sword for as long as I can remember, so I guess I've
Minus the
got
fact that I have a mysterious presence inside of me that made my hair turn red, and I have a mysterious second sword that I can whip up out of nowhere, but
against a couple of academy kids.
We are not some amateurs fresh from the classroom.
yeah, I was gonna say, they're all actual, like... By this point, I still thought they had
Horrors of live
experience.
combat. Yet you still outclassed us. So please do not downplay your skills. It only adds to our
Yeah, I was gonna say,
embarrassment.
if you keep saying, oh, I'm not that good, I'm not that good,
it's sort of
you just
shocking
whooped
that the
like
3 of us
over 10 of
together
them.
couldn't put up more of a fight. Maybe we should try to develop better chemistry.
Yeah, imagine if they'd done that and then they hadn't started a war with each other.
Together in a real battle after all.
Would've been crazy.
You say that like you know something we don't. What could the Empire, Kingdom, and Alliance do together? Take on Almyra's main force, perhaps?
They could just, you know,
It's
not
purely
fight.
hypothetical, I promise. Still, what's wrong with the idea? Don't you have any interest
I
in
wonder too, like in previous
friendship
years,
between
again,
our
I
regions?
speculated earlier, like, were there actual house leaders when the actual heirs to each of the 3 nations weren't in the academy? For the houses, but
In truth,
I wonder, was there always, like, if there was, like, say, the next king of the kingdom was there, in the Blue Lions one year. You would think there would be some years, though, where all 3 leaders weren't in at the same time if it is just a year-long program. Just interesting.
You folks seem to get along pretty well. I think Fodlan's got peaceful days ahead with the
Ha!
3 of you in charge.
Ah.
Of course,
Edelgard's sitting there like, little does she know I'm planning on starting a war. I dropped my
Oh, I'm
controller.
confident there will still be a need for mercenaries during such tranquil times.
Yeah, there's like bandits and everything, I suppose.
Well, I'm gonna keep my sunny disposition and assume we'll all end up the best of friends.
At least everyone
Speaking
lives.
of, I think this is the perfect opportunity for a little celebration.
Unless Edelgard dies in this path. We still don't know. I think
Let's
she's
all
still
sit down
technically...
for a meal
I was
together
surprised
without
because
any
like the
of that messy
brainwashing of
house or
Talus
allegiance
seemed to be
stuff to
broken, and then either she was pretending when she went back to Talus, or she was immediately brainwashed again.
in fact, I think we should come
But we're
together
about to
in that
find out
fashion
after this
on a more
paralog.
consistent basis.
Hmm.
I'm sure the monastery staff wouldn't mind, so long as our fate doesn't get too out of hand.
I can get behind that idea. But before we depart, there is one other matter that needs to be settled. I imagine people will be asking you for an explanation of what happened here today.
Just say nothing happened.
I think we should come up with a cover story.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now this will be a true test for our fledgling alliance. I didn't expect it to come so
Yeah,
soon.
we got the
but
schemer, the warmonger, and the guy who went crazy in 3 houses, but the guy who's actually really straightforward and trying to do the right thing. It's crazy.
My, this is fascinating. fascinating. All three of them seem to have their own little secrets tucked away
Yeah,
beneath their
everyone has.
amicable dispositions.
None of them are exactly
But they're right about one
super
thing.
right or wrong,
If
but
they can
still.
remain on friendly terms,
Much
peace
as
is
I
all
joke about it,
assured.
like Edelgard still, she started her war for a specific reason. And with Talas being so influential in the Empire and everything, it would have, she was already in a rough spot. Like, it's crazy though in this path, the fact that she gets like brainwashed and stuff in this path is insane to me. This path took such like a different turn with some of that stuff than the other ones. It was just really surprising. But anyway,
Supplies are the
I'm gonna
lifeblood of
do
any
this,
army.
and let's just finish out this
Everything
path.
has its use.
Like I was saying, I mean, we've been recording for an hour and a half. This will probably take at least another 30 minutes. If I had done all of the sport conversations we had left, this would have been like a 4 or 5 hour recording. I'm not joking. I watched a lot of them, like I said, on my own time. We had so many. And we did watch all the other ones for the other paths. I don't know if it was because we had like all these knights and such that weren't in the other paths, but we had so many. I think it was also partially because every character on the knights, except for, again, Ash and then Mercedes, we hadn't even had another path, so it was then all of their interactions with everyone else. There were so many. A lot of them were really wholesome, but
battlefield are you headed to?
doing all those just did not appeal to me. Would have been rough. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot this is where we finally get Gravitas. Go figure. I want to make sure we get an S rank here. Again, we could do this again afterwards, but I'm just going to try and get an S rank here to make sure, because I've been curious for 2 paths now why we hadn't seen Gravitas. Apparently it's just the S rank reward for this path.
I want you and your unit to keep watch for us.
I'm so
And my
confused if
uncle
she's
will help you. We can't let our
pretending or she's
enemy
actually
get
just instantly
inside
brainwashed
these
again.
walls. Do it for the Empire.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And it's just weird that nobody even realized something was wrong.
Uncle,
Splendid work, Edelgard.
I did what you asked me to do. Is that good enough?
But of course, all you need do is follow my every command.
She's almost,
and
it's just
victory
scary,
will
dude.
be
She's like a blank
ours.
slate, like, almost like childlike mannerisms. Obviously intended, but still. Again, that's why I feel like, you know, surely the people close to her would have realized.
Edelgard, you must join the fray as well.
They showed demonic Edelgard for a second.
After all, what good is an emperor who lets everyone else do the fighting for her?
Yes, Uncle.
Ooh, so either she's pretending and she joins our side again, or she's not pretending,
When we left our school 2 years
and she
ago,
turns into demonic form.
I never
Hopefully,
imagined
again,
that
I
this
wanted
was
to
how
see
we
a
might make our
game where all
return.
3 of the leaders didn't die, but
I think I'll skip the next class reunion
Yeah.
if this is what they're always going to be like. Our enemies waiting for us just
my
beyond
school is
these
small enough that I
ramparts.
don't think we're going to have a
And
high school
Talos
reunion,
is at its
and I probably
heart.
wouldn't go, honestly.
This is our chance to stop him once and for all.
I always get the jitters before big battles like this.
You needn't worry. Besides, there won't be time for nerves once the fighting begins.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll surely win with the goddess's guidance at our backs.
Yeah,
In
let's
any
go with that.
case, there's no turning back now. So let's stand tall and greet this battle with our heads held high.
There's still no sign of the Alliance, Your Majesty.
Now, where are they? Are they still held
will
up?
come. I'm sure of it. He knows full well if we fall, he'll be next.
Yeah, that's one of those
Claude
things.
told me that we would meet again. He's crafty, yes, but I've never known him to be a liar.
Yeah, he's more of like a half-truths kind of guy, though.
That's your cue, Dimitri.
Yeah, we could all use one of your inspiring speeches to really set the mood.
Right then. Hear me well, fearless knights of Fargus.
Nice.
It is only through your combined efforts that we find ourselves here, with a pointed blade thrust at the throat of our enemy. We lost so many lives in Duska. Our king, his knights, and more innocents that I can bear to count. This war has claimed even more. But now, we can finally avenge all of those who have fallen. Today, we sever the threads of fate that bind us to our troubled
Did we get a speech from, like this from Claude? I know we did from Edelgard. I'm genuinely trying to remember. I don't think we did.
We shall fight. We shall
Granted, the
survive,
Alliance /
and we
Federation is a
shall
bit of a
win
different
glorious
environment.
Future for Fodlan.
Still.
I trust each of you to see our
And Claude's
task
not really the
through.
speechy type, but
Now move out.
still. Kinda cool to see those parallels. beat Talus. So it potentially was just straight up Talus, huh? Interesting. Formation, decrease the durability of all those, slightly string opponents. I don't know which one of these I want. Let's do Stronghold Sabotage, make my life a little bit easier. Oh, we do have to rearrange our units again, as always, that's fine. Yeah, level 7 Gatekeeper.
Stay focused.
Let's run Violet and Catherine. Catherine's not the strongest person to be running, but I actually do like her kit. I really like the character, but it's the same thing as... I mean, I really like Shamir and Dorothea, but I don't like their kits too much. I actually really like Catherine's kit. Now the backup units. Let's bring in Gerald. I'm not gonna worry about... Well, I could bring in the Gatekeeper, but not worried about it. Although, yeah, that's not going to pick. Don't worry.
Send a flower to battle and watch it bloom.
You know what, actually, let's bring the Gatekeeper. I just realized we don't really have another good backup unit. Alright, 2,000 enemies, 25 minutes. Pretty lengthy stage. It is the last stage, though. Let's make sure we get that S rank for that Craftus, though. I really wanna try it out. That is a big stronghold decrease, though. I thought it was only gonna be like a quarter. It's probably fine. Like I was saying, so it's just that interesting parallel of... In Golden Wildfire, it was just Rhea as the final boss. In Scarlet Blaze, it was Rhea and Talus, and here it appears to be just Talus. And that's what I was kind of talking about in some of our previous VODs. I was like, I wonder if that's the case. I wasn't sure if it was going to be. And again, we were shown Demon Edelgard for like a split second, and that's why I thought maybe this is the path where Edelgard dies, one of the leaders dies. But I don't know. I'm still fully expecting her to show up, because if she is actually under control. If she's not, though, it seems like the type of thing Talus would realize, too, you think. If she was just pretending. I really don't know, because I thought they explained that it was because of the environment in Oracle's world, that she got her memories back. But again, there's so much that I don't know. A lot of that wasn't necessarily explained, you know? An Aximandros, huh? Is this a named character?
We'll have to keep a tight watch on the Alliance rendezvous points.
You know, I thought Violet's ability was like super cool at first. I actually, it's not bad. But I wasn't actually as impressed with it as I thought I might be. Are they attacking her backline? Do we even have a defeat condition right now? Aside from everyone dying as always? Because I don't think we had like a home base to lose. Yeah, defeat an accident. The other three are taking care of it. Let's take care of these two. There was a stronghold back here. Rendezvous point 1. Maybe we do lose if we lose this point. I wouldn't be too surprised. A lot of times that is the case. Oh yeah, they had it under control. That ought to open up all these gates.
Despite their human guise, they are nothing more than beasts, and they fight like them too. I must retreat.
He ran. However, this path will get us past the walls. After him.
Okay. Let me in. Mess him up.
I don't even know what it means to live. I will not let you thwart our dreams.
Yeah, Dimitri's little, like, when he spins his lance and then strikes, does a lot of damage. Yeah, saw that coming. 4 of them. Do we have to get directly to them, or the controls?
Different from the ones we've seen before. Be careful.
Okay, no, it is controls and ports. That's good to know.
I'd better take this opportunity to snatch one of these strongholds.
Oh my gosh. I'm probably gonna take this stronghold and then...
These auxiliary forces are a threat to our
Nope. I just realized we probably have to just stop him now. Yeah, obviously there's a ton in this base.
Don't give him a chance to retaliate.
This is where Cronia dies, though. Again, I was just so surprised. I feel like the community is really divided on Cronia. from Three Houses from what I saw, just because the design is so unique. It's a nice design, you know? But she also, you know, murders Gerald, which, you know, it doesn't matter who that was. It doesn't make the character that likable, you know? Definitely does not endear their case to us. Let's get these controls
Return to
here.
me, Cry. It is time.
Okay, that's...
Yes, Thomas. I guess I can't play with you any longer.
Okay. I have a feeling this is gonna be a long fight.
The rendezvous point is still safe. So far, all is well.
Nice, I think the controls to this guy right here. Oh, Catherine got that fort, but then she left it. Oops. Hold on.
Peak form today.
Let's grab this. This is the second one.
Good, we disabled it. These are a lot stronger than the weapons we saw in Verdiad.
Nice, nice. They look the exact same
Those
to me,
things
but
were incredibly powerful. Now that we've disabled them, the attacks on the central level should be stopped.
let's get moving. Nothing to it but to do it. I went the wrong way. That's awkward. I swear I was going the right way and then I stopped looking at the map, went off my own. I went the wrong way. That is awkward. I'm actually gonna forward here. Before I forget.
Not a problem.
Otherwise it's gonna take her forever to get to that fort. Yes, we have 1350. Yeah. We should be good. It's crazy going from the paralogs where we tended to have like that Gerald, Shamir, and Catherine paralog was obviously really nice, but it is a bit strange going from a paralog where we didn't have like any of our units for a lot of them to hopping back with most of our main units. Right, where are the? There it is.
Take a breather.
Oh, Shez already had this under control. Last controls. I wonder if there's going to be a warp point again. I know that was the thing in Scarlet Blaze. Took us to like the last little bit. There are a lot of enemies all around this place.
But we shut them all down.
Yeah, all of the strongholds being weakened was actually surprisingly nice. We don't want the Viscom, we just don't want them firing on us. Oh gosh, yeah. 8. Stop. Oh my gosh, why do they run so fast? Who's closest? I think it's Dimitri. Oh, nice, nice. You dodged. Dodge this.
You won't stop me. Our will is eternal and undying.
Nice. Okay. Let's grab this fort here while we have a second.
The rest is up.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, did we come a little late? Form up
Oh,
with
no.
the Kingdom Army, everyone.
Yeah, it only took you like what? 7 minutes? It's like a quarter of the battle.
But where is Claude? Well, no matter.
Yeah, he's showing up eventually.
It's an absolutely terrible situation.
Oh, it's Count Varley. I wonder if Count Varley dies in this path.
Protect the stronghold.
Because we're not exactly allied with the Empire. And we are pretty allied with, you know, the Church of Saros, so. Huh.
At this point, the ends justify the means. Stop them at any
Does it?
cost, even with fire.
Oh. Okay, this is very reminiscent of what happens in the Scarlet Blaze path once again.
What do we do now?
Interesting.
Don't worry. I heard we have a plan. Just hold out a little longer.
That's probably what Claude's taking care of.
Let's go disable that artillery. Capturing the stronghold should make things easier too.
Alliance mind letting us know what exactly this plan entails?
Yeah, it could be kind of important. Oh, is that going to be one of the big... yep. It's one of the machine ones. Interesting. Alright, real quick, let's send Catherine.
Time to go to work. Let me
Take
show
that.
you how it's done.
Dimitri already looks like he was on that way with apparently all of our allies. Jeez. Alright, we'll go take care of the Titanics.
They had something like that in their back pocket this whole time.
Technically, for Varley, it's an ally, I think. Empire in this path is currently under the thumb of Talus, but still technically an ally. So it has fist weapon, ice magic. I don't know if I brought ice magic. We obviously, I mean, we have a tome, but it's basically just Violet's weapon art. And Dimitri isn't here, so eh.
You think this rickety little stronghold is
Whew, my allergies are gonna kill me one day. How much damage have we taken? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, 3%. Like, we've taken about a third of our health here on Ches. And so what I'm saying is I think it's like 3% of our collective health. And that's probably why in that other fight we just took like 50% of our health and almost instantly fail. That's my best guess.
If only we could take a quick break.
They got both of those side ports. We should be okay on kills by now, yep. Time to just finish out the path. I'm excited though. Obviously, we didn't use like Mercurius or Parthia or a lot of those weapons a whole lot. Because the Zoltan weapons were nice and a lot of characters had their relics, but genuinely, I thought it was so cool when we saw like the 3 holy weapons from Marth's storyline, as well as like Hot Claire, which was Minerva's weapon. Just cool stuff. Fire Emblem's really good about adding those little Easter eggs.
No, stop! Don't let them open the gate.
I mean, I really doubt Claude would lose to, yeah, I was gonna say lose to Count Varley even if we couldn't get to him. Obviously, we're gonna go help him, but.
I knew you would come, no matter what. Let us crush the Imperial forces together.
Alright, defeat Count Varley. I'm sorry, Count Varley. I don't know if you die here, but you're getting messed up. Oh, he's dead. The instant I saw that pause, he's dead.
I was wrong to follow.
Did you willingly follow Talus? Count Varley. That changes things. I feel less bad now. I don't know how many members of the Empire are aware, like, you know, of Talus's control. Again, we haven't seen, like, Hubert at all, too. That's one thing that's been on my mind is, if anyone was going to notice, it would be, like, Monica or Hubert, and Monica has been shown and doesn't appear to realize. But ever since Edelgard was brainwashed, I don't think we've seen Hubert, like, at all.
All right, let's infiltrate the monastery.
Open the gate, please. Oh, that'll do it.
This is it, Dimitri. Talus is just ahead.
Indeed. Strange how my reason for stepping foot in this monastery now is the same as it was those 3 years ago.
Kind of poetic, isn't it?
Revenge.
Yeah.
All the heirs and relatives of every noble in the land come to learn here. It seemed likely that at least someone was connected.
Revenge
to
really
my
has
father's
been his
killing.
whole big deal this path. Not quite as much, again, like, I was really surprised at how many changes they made to Dimitri post-time skip in 3 Hopes compared to 3 Houses. I really wonder if maybe it just wasn't a popular, the whole eye patch, he went insane thing. I wonder if that was just not well received. I never got that impression, so.
I stand here once more, my enemy's identity clear for all to see.
Yeah, we should don't have to wonder.
And this time, you're gonna get your revenge. You're not alone anymore, Dimitri. You've got your friends here with you every step of the way. So let's win this. And when we do, we'll all greet the new dawn together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right you are. Let us go. Together.
I know Warriors games have never really had like romance options though beyond just the normal support, but
Lady Rhea, you're
that's
safe.
another thing that's been annoying that maybe.
Let's clear out these enemies.
Dolophonus, huh?
So you have come.
This is running really low on weapon durability.
Does this mean everyone outside already fell? What a bunch of weaklings.
I clicked A on you once, Gronya, and you had to retreat. And I'm gonna do it again. Warrior special aficionado. She dead now? Yep.
This is wrong. I can't die.
No. I wonder if they're ever gonna make DLC characters, because Bronya is one of those characters that I genuinely don't think it makes sense to be playable. But she's one of those characters that I really thought the community was super divided on again because of like everything, the unique design versus what she does. But it's just thinking about potential DLC characters. This game didn't have the same thing that the first Fire Emblem Warriors did in that they didn't really pull any characters from other games. And they basically brought in every character from Three Houses, so it's, you know, if they bring DLC characters in, what is it going to be, like the villains? Is it going to be characters from other games? It could be, you know. I think they put in like Lucina for Fates and such, but...
We're up against the toughest of enemies, but I'm not afraid.
Hey, Thomas, where is Edelgard?
We'll win and return to Ferdiad together.
Wow, Talus did not take any damage from that. What? Is he not even taking damage here? Oh, that might be why. King of Lions scored, huh?
Our will has endured for thousands of years. It shall not be stopped here.
Sure. It doesn't even look like Talus is taking damage.
That can be arranged.
Yeah, I was wondering. Ah, I'm really glad I didn't use my other warrior specials. I'm sorry, Edelgard, I really hope you don't die. It would just be really messed up if she died while she was brainwashed.
Perhaps we should focus on Edelgard for now.
Okay, we're good, okay. I was like, that's kind of messed up if she actually is fully brainwashed again. I think she was, though. I think it was like being in Arvel's realm stopped that from happening. And then when she was out of Arvel's realm, she was immediately brainwashed again. That or... You have Edelgard, huh? Probably have to. I get the feeling this is going to be one of those, yeah, he keeps conquering barriers. This just feels kind of mean. Edelgard is completely brainwashed and we're just beating her up a bunch of times.
I have an endless supply of soldiers at my command. Go on, slaughter.
Can we start charge up Avar and the other characters, I suppose? I really don't know how much damage Talus is taking specifically because Talus keeps conjuring the Dark Barrier and stuff, so... I don't know, it might be a waste not to use him here. Oh, it took damage there. I'm gonna just... See, like, it very clearly gates damage past the point. We should probably use Shez to take down Edelgard, though. Well, actually, never mind, we have 3 sword users, I'm an idiot.
I'm still here.
Oh. It's attacking me, I'm still on the game. I'm genuinely curious what we're looking at. 13 minutes? It doesn't feel like it's been 13 minutes. Genuinely.
hope you're watching for me. I will avenge you here and move on with my life.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Not only is we're just kicking her while she's down, she's already brainwashed. And we're just sitting there beating her up over and over. At least we're very clearly trying not to kill her, you know? I was never the biggest Edelgard fan, but I just feel bad. It's the same thing as, like, I think the best example was, like, Lava, because she dies in, like, every path, and I just feel bad. Maybe you could stop, yeah, healing Edelgard and creating barrier. That would be helpful.
Let us finish this and right the wrongs of the past.
Oh.
So
Oh,
this
okay.
fragile flesh has run its course.
Does he turn into
No
a dragon now?
matter.
Or demonic beast? Oh no, no. Wait.
Dimitri, go!
Okay. Did she just break her axe?
No.
You cursed beasts will never defeat us.
Don't do it. I'm really scared he's gonna transform Edelgard into like the he's just taking it. What a madman.
You're wrong. Not another step, you fool. This ends here.
What an actual madman. He just walked up, took the 3 blasts, didn't even like just batted one aside. Stabbed straight through the barrier. Would be really awkward is if it was one of those kind of brainwashings where Talus has died and Edelgard just wasn't
Guess it's
he had to
over.
manually undo it.
Yes.
D?
Let's go.
It just makes me feel so sad. What the heck? I mean, they didn't kill her, but still. Rhea actually survived a path. That's crazy. Imagine that.
It seems the dawn is nearly upon us.
About time, too. So, my friend, shall we?
Right. There's much to be done.
This is genuinely like the most conclusive path of 3. The Alliance path really felt like it was super open-ended. The Empire path left the kingdom up
1183,
as a big like enemy. This actually feels conclusive.
The Kingdom of Fargus, beside the Leicester Alliance and the Church of Saros, emerged victorious against the forces of Adrestia. With the loss of Regent Ire and many of its leading strategists, the Empire has been forced back on all fronts, radically transforming the power structure throughout Fodlan.
I wonder if the Empire
In
still
pursuit of their
exists past the point.
ideals, the young leaders press ever southward to crush the Empire for good. None
Interesting.
know what tomorrow this war may bring.
Okay, well, right, as I said, it gave a conclusive ending, but
Awaits Fodlan.
the Empire was pretty crushed. And we don't even know if Edelgard's gonna get her memories back, because that last little bit didn't make it seem like she did. I mean, again, it goes back to the whole, like, it's almost like her memories have reverted to, like, and her mannerisms reverted to, like, a childlike state, almost. And then she called Dimitri D, which is probably a childhood nickname, so... just kind of crazy. I really like that path, though. I think I mentioned this, but of the 3 houses, you know, the one I was least connected to I felt was always Blue Lions, but I think of the storylines of those 3 paths, that was probably my favorite path. Genuinely. I liked that. Battle data. Let's see how badly we did. Most of these should be S ranks, but we definitely had a few that we messed up. Usually Shez, there were a few Dimitris. Yep. A rank there on the Silver Maiden. I think I went back and redid that stage. I'm pretty sure that was the one where we panicked because I thought we had to save Meeklon. Could be wrong, but I thought that might have been it. Oh, it shows the paralogs as well. Yeah, we didn't get enough enemies. Genuinely, the Evil's Bane and Lost Protection, I was panicking. They ended that stage so fast, and I was like, I'm not letting that happen again. And then the other one, I just took too much damage. We barely defeated enough enemies. I just got clobbered once by Dimitri. Here's my letter from Catherine.
Strange how quickly time flies when you're not looking. One moment you're knee-deep in battle, and the next, the war is almost over.
Genuinely, there's so many characters. I do want to give, if I keep playing through this game multiple times, even though it's just like a little paragraph and you get the extra, so I want to give the Merc Whistle to the 3 leaders. Dorothea was the only one of my 4 favorite characters I didn't. But the 3 leaders, Dorothea, and then there's a couple other characters. I wanted to try giving it to Byleth. I was curious what a few other characters would say, like Geralt as well.
Not that I mean to sway you, but what are you planning to do next?
No idea.
So long as you choose a path you can be proud of, I'll always be in your corner.
Thanks, Catherine.
Of course, there's a big part of me that will miss you. But if you love something, you set it free, right?
I suppose. Is that why you let Shamir go? New crest items been added. Interesting. I wonder what those are. Anyways, guys, though, I've really enjoyed this game series. Like I was saying, I might play this a bit more in my own time. Go for more support conversations, see what happens on the pass where you kill Byleth. Or, sorry, not kill Byleth, kill Gerald. Don't say Byleth, but hopefully Xenoblade, I mean, Xenoblade literally, I think, for me, releases, yeah, it's about 9-ish p.m. as I'm finishing up this recording, and it comes out tomorrow. And I had it pre-ordered and everything. I don't know if I'll stream it tomorrow. We'll see. My streaming time's been kicked back a little bit because my sleep schedule's a little bit messed up. Usually, I live in MST. I usually stream around like anywhere from like noon to like 2 or 3 is when I start. But lately, it's obviously been a bit later. I mean, I've been recording around 4, 5, 6 p.m. Just a bit of a messed up sleep schedule. But like I was saying too, I want to try and figure out overlay. Change things up, because I do remember I don't know what the overlay for Xenoblade 3 looks like. Literally, I think I mentioned it, the only thing I know about Xenoblade 3 is that it's meant to include the characters like Nia that would have lived far into the future. That's all I know. I don't know who they are, I just know Nia's in there. That's literally it. And I'm assuming her, I can't even remember his name, it's been such a long time. But, her tiger as well that she was kind of linked to, but that's all I know. I'm so excited for it. I'm really jumped into it. Like I was saying, the internet issue should have been fixed as well. Very annoying, but it's just part of life. I don't know what the deal was. It was the weirdest thing. Like I said, my internet company told me it was a tower issue, but you never know. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll definitely get this last VOD posted on YouTube. I'm sorry I didn't stream like the last 2, 3-ish parts on Twitch. I would have loved to, but again, plans changed. I wanted to finish this game like last week and then stream a new Genshin event, but I've done it on my own time. And honestly, that is one event I can wholeheartedly suggest. They redid like the whole Golden Apple Archipelago and stuff, but anyway, I'm gonna stop babbling. I'll be starting up this Xenoblade 3 stream for a while, and I know that game will take a while because Xenoblade 2 to get everything, get to New Game Plus, get all the New Game Plus blades, legitimately took me about 240 plus hours, I think. Although I didn't have the greatest luck when it comes to rolling for blades like Cosmos, and I don't know if it'll be the same system, but I will catch you next time. So guys, bye.